Good evening and welcome to the Kentucky Horse Park once again for the second night of international jumping in this Longines FEI World Cup Jumping North American League show, the 132nd CP National Horse Show. Tonight we have two international jumper classes for you in our World Cup 4-star. We've got the $35,000 Dobbs Family International Open Jumper Speed class at Table C, and then at 7 o'clock tonight the $130,000 CP Grand Prix Table A class. I'm John Kyle, here with you for the week at the Kentucky Horse Park, and delighted to be joined once again for tonight's Table C class by Derek Braun from just over the hill at Split Rock here near Lexington, Kentucky. Derek, good evening.
Yeah, thanks, John. I think this is going to be a great competition. You're going to see horses going quite fast.
Yes, this Table C format, we saw it in the USEF National Under-25 Championships last night. Any poles they have will be converted to seconds and added onto their time taken. Guilherme Schorsch has set the track here once again, as he will do all week right up to the North American League World Cup qualifier here on Sunday afternoon. And we're going to have 31 horse and rider combinations in this Table C tonight. And we've got current leader of the East Coast League, Hardental, there going in number 4. We've got Richard Maloney for Ireland, Sean Wardley, New Zealand Olympian, Beezy Madden, and Breitling going in this class. She'll have her other horse then later on in the CP Grand Prix. Laura Kraut coming in there in the middle as well, another of the US Olympic gold medalists. Daniel Blumen makes his first international start tonight. He didn't run in last night's class. Roberto Tarando, his countryman, was last night's winner with Woklahoma. So he rides Brilliant Derouet, the Balabé Derouet horse, in tonight's Table C, and Woklahoma will be out in the CP Grand Prix. Reed Kessler, who opened affairs last night, and then also regular winners here, Nicola Philipparts and Francois Mathy, part of a 4-strong Belgian field here at Kentucky for the Longines FEI World Cup week at the CP National Horse Show. Guilherme Schorsch of Brazil has set our track as a Table C. We don't have a time allowed, we just have that time limit of 120 seconds. Short and sweet, 10 obstacles, 12 jumping efforts, and some interesting turns there will be on. Remember, with penalty seconds as well, it's real turn and burn, because if you have a pole down, if you can keep the pressure up, you could go right up to the head of affairs. Derek, what's your take on the track here this evening?
Yeah, I think Guilherme has set a really friendly track, because I think there's going to be a combination of purposes that the riders are going to go at it tonight. I think some horses are going to go blistering fast, going for the win and the prize money, and I think others are actually using this class to sort of get their horses in the ring in school and prepare for something maybe further later in the week, like Sunday afternoon. I know in particular, I was just talking to Hardental recently during the course walk, and he was mentioning that he's just going for a nice, cool, smooth round in preparation for Sunday afternoon, because some of these riders, they do have to complete an FEI round before Sunday's main event in the World Cup.
So yes, all eyes looking towards that big Longines FEI World Cup qualifier here on Sunday. We've got the first horse in the ring in this Dobbs Family International Jumper Table C, worth $35,000 total prize fund at half past the hour. So we'll be right back with all the action from the CP National here in Kentucky in the United States of America.
Paying attention to the smallest detail, getting to the destination the most efficient way possible, ensuring all individual elements are working together to drive high performance, and making sure you do it consistently. Being the best comes down to perfect execution. That's not just good show jumping. That's good railroading. We love a sport that rewards precision.
Our philosophy has always been, if we take care of the horse, the horse will take care of us.
We're here for all horses.
Our goal is to do what's best for the horse, period.
And we have lots of specialists which work together as a team.
Our egos are not important, and we consult with each other, help each other out where needed.
We have the cutting edge technology that's available today.
Every horse is so important to us. Whatever we do what's best for the horse.
The expertise resides here. It's exciting to see what we've learned in the past 30 years, and it's very exciting to think about where it's going to go in the next 30 years.
Passion, effort, overcoming obstacles, glory.
What a horse, what a combination, and what a time!
In a region where equestrian sport has been growing at full gallop, a brand new major league, the Longines FEI World Cup Jumping North American League.
43.83 down with just one to go.
The best human and equine athletes of the sport battling to qualify for the amazing Longines FEI World Cup Jumping Final.
Et il le fait! Oui, pour 15e! Extraordinaire, quelle finale fantastique! Increíble! Que tiempo! Que caballo! El ganador!
A unique sport, rich in personalities, where human and horse must have a true partnership to succeed, and where men and women share the same podium. An electrifying finish to the Longines season, a truly global final, where the biggest stars of international jumping will fight for the trophy and a massive €1.3 million jackpot.
A world-class performance by a world-class man.
The most exciting equestrian events in 14 outstanding venues across 3 countries, Mexico, the United States, and Canada. Taking the sport across the continent to iconic cities and world-class equestrian locations. 2015 goes down in American sport history with the launch of the Longines FEI World Cup Jumping North American League. The perfect combination of high-profile sport, family entertainment, and thrilling competition. Kicking off in August across the continent.
So welcome back to the Kentucky Horse Park. We are just a few moments away from the start of this Dobbs Family International Open Jumper Speed Class. $35,000 the total prize fund to be shared amongst the best of our 31 horse and rider combinations coming forward. As we said just before the break, it's very interesting because in order to be qualified for Sunday for the World Cup qualifier, the competitors have to start in one of the international classes. So we see, for instance, Daniel Blumen out for the first time tonight. We didn't see him jump last night. We have those who with second horses specifically geared towards the speed classes. We've got an accumulator and this speed class in the 4-star as well then as the Grand Prix tonight and the World Cup qualifier. There's a little bit of something for everyone, and that's why you get those 2-horse mixes as well. So we'll have some who are absolutely here to go out and lay down the standard in this class, and other ones who are in to get ring time onto the horse that they're hopefully going to aim at that World Cup qualifier on Sunday. So quite a mixed bag, but there's no doubt with plenty of 2-horse riders here and a decent amount of money on offer, we're going to see a serious class.
Yeah, absolutely. And the course that Guilherme has built tonight is extremely friendly. There's lots of long runs, which means there's lots of options to leave out strides in the lines. Some people can do 8 strides in the line, 9 strides in the line, 10 strides in the line. That gives them an opportunity to make up valuable time in each line.
The other interesting thing that you get at any show is the development of lines. And we see a line on this course at 6, 7, 8 AB that we saw in the under-25, and I know these top riders will have just been keeping a weather eye on anything Guillermo Schorsch has set up in this ring to see how it's going to ride.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like Guy has tweaked the course a little bit everywhere, so the lines are not going to ride the same. They definitely had to rewalk this and come up with their own line and track. There's a couple of inside track options, inside turns, and long runs, so it's going to be exciting.
Remember, it's Table C format, so if they have a pole, we'll get 4 up on the screen in the penalty box, but that will be converted to seconds and added on to their time taken. Margie Engel is our first to go. Margie with Indigo is rider ranked 77th in the world at the moment. Sydney Olympian for the US, 7th in the Grand Prix at Miami this year.
Yeah, it looks like Margie right off the bat is going for it.
15-year-old Bayern Doctorow owned by Gladewin's Farm.
That was a really smooth turn to the Sleepy P Oxer. I think, though, she left a little window open. She could have shaved it just a little bit tighter. Excellent into the combination, heading towards the out gate. She chose to go around the ollie skinny vertical there to the Longines Oxer. I think you're going to see a few people choose to go inside there, so that's a spot where somebody can make up a little bit of time on her.
It's going to call for a big commitment, though, because that's quite a square Oxer the other side as well, that Longines fence.
Yeah, that's definitely the test and the option of this course, I think. There she chose to go in front of the Sleepy P Oxer, but adding one more stride to the ollie to make it happen.
17-time World Cup finalist jumping in her third World Cup show of the season. Margie Goldstein, Engel and Indigo complete their round. So nothing to add, 59.34 seconds. So Margie sets a very, very good standard. As Derek has said, perhaps left the door open here and there, but what's going to be tough is the fact I think she had a good pace all the way around. So in terms of actual clock time, it's going to be pretty good.
And there, I don't know if you see, Connor just took a look at that inside turn of the ollie skinny vertical there to the Longines. It'll be interesting to see whether he attempts it.
World number 40 at the moment, Connor Swell, with Susan and Ariel Granger's Martha Louise.
And, you know, Margie going first there, a lot of the other riders had an opportunity to watch her go. So, I mean, I think she set the tone nicely. I think she put a little bit of pressure on everybody.
Connor has been winning rings around him this autumn, particularly here in North America. Winning the New Albany Classic Grand Prix. Wins also at Central Park, the Pennsylvania National, Split Rock and Washington International.
Yeah, Connor is a speed master. I think he's won at least 1 or 2 classes at each of the last 5 or 6 shows that he's been at this fall. So he's really on a roll. And this is definitely one of his faster horses. I think he's really aiming this horse at these types of classes at this event. So I think you're going to see a faster time than Margie. It's just whether he can leave all the jumps up.
So he's gone for it.
There he went for it. Made it happen. Excellent. Galloped in 8 strides to the brown Oxer at the end, and a really slick turn back to the double of verticals. And there, actually, if you notice, Connor left out 2 strides for Margie. He did 8 strides to the ollie vertical.
So 59.34 was the time to beat 54.92 for Martha Louise, ridden by Connor Swale for Ireland. So some 4.5 seconds faster there.
I don't know. I think it's going to take a real chance from somebody to beat that time. That was blistering fast.
And again, I mean, we said it every time we've had people going against the clock, but I think it's worth mentioning, particularly young people watching at home. Just look back at how smooth Connor was. He wasn't frantic. He pushed the horse and moved it forward when he needed to. But just smoothness really does pay off. I mean, anytime you take a pull, it's going to cost you a second on track.
Sure, smoothness and precision and timing. I mean, his cues and the times he set and the times he chose to support his horse and sit up when he needed to were spot on.
So starting out over the North American League fence, Katie Dinan from Wellington, Florida. Katie with Grant Road Partners. Checkpoint U.
Looks like Katie's off to a nice, smooth start. I don't know if she's as quick as Connor was to this point, but she still has time to pick it up.
Katie rode at her third World Cup finals this year. Was part of the winning US team in the Nations Cup at Dublin last year, and then represented the US at the Nations Cup finals in Barcelona.
There she tries the inside turn again. She caught it excellent on a little angle heading into that wall, which was a little risky, but she made it work. Chose to do 9 strides to the end oxer, which is going to be a good place for some people to make up some time. You saw Connor do 8 strides to that oxer. Inside turn there, but around that planter. She's going for just a nice, smooth, clear round. Instead, she's in front of the last jump.
So 61.51 on the clock is going to translate to a 65.51 competition time. We add those 4 penalties in as seconds for Katie Dynan and checkpoint use. So 65.51 goes into third place at the moment. 54.92 leads for Connor Swale. Ireland with the whip hand at the moment.
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, Hardin's here with this horse to compete in the World Cup qualifier on Sunday afternoon. So I think you're just going to see Hardin have a nice, smooth, consistent round.
This is Jen Gates, Emily de Diamant, and Hardin Towell, the current leader of the East Coast standings in the Longines FEI World Cup. Hardin was also a finalist this year at Las Vegas.
It's funny, Hardin was telling me during the course walk that he was just going for a smooth, consistent, clear round and not trying to be too quick. But if you notice, already he's being quite slick with his turns. Although he may not be traveling too fast across the ground, he is trying to be neat and efficient, so hopefully he can walk away with a check tonight.
Yeah, and Sunday's going to go to jump off, no doubt about it, for the World Cup qualifier, so he gets this Diamant de Semi horse tuned up. But that brown fence, you talked about it earlier on, it can just melt into the footing a little bit color-wise.
Yeah, I don't think that was necessarily the reason why he had that down. I think he just turned a little bit early in the air and anticipating to turn back to the verticals.
More to add, 59.53 on the clock, so that translates to 63.53 for Hardin Towell with Emily de Diamant. Into third at the moment for Hardin.
But you know, also, John, every horse has a different way of going. So Hardin's choice of preparation for that horse could have been looking neater and getting her to sight in on the jumps a little quicker in preparation for Sunday. So
from the space in Riverhead, New York, Richie Maloney represents Ireland. Got 20 points after a win in the World Cup qualifier at the American Gold Cup on the World Cup standings. Richie with Equanimity's Alsvid.
Yeah, Richie's been really on fire this fall tour, and this is a very hot-blooded horse, means he has a lot of energy and a lot of forward momentum and impulsion, so it'll be interesting to see how Richie tackles this track. It looks like he's going really fast right off the bat.
Countryman Connor Swale in the lead at the moment, 54.92.
Little rub at the Sleepy P Oxer, but left it up. Looks like he's going for it, John. Needs to make this inside turn to the Longines, and he is trying it. Does the same number of strides as Connor did there, and really slick back to the verticals. I think it's going to be close. I think Connor was just a little bit quicker right there.
54.92 to beat, turns inside the Breeders' Cup decoration. It's very, very close, but just that tiny bit in arrears. 55.54 into second place for Richie Maloney. So Ireland with a 1-2 at the moment here in this $35,000 Dobbs Family International Open Jumper Stakes.
Yeah, I think they were neck and neck until the Ali vertical, where Richie just had to add one more stride to make that inside turn in front of the Sleepy P Oxer, and that's where the time difference came.
So New Zealand Olympian Sian Wardley with Ashland Stables Hickstead's Axel. Sian ranked inside the world's top 150. Was the runner-up in the three-star Grand Prix at the Central Park Horse Show this year behind Daniel Blumen.
Interestingly enough, this horse's sire was Hickstead, who was also owned by Ashley Wardley, Sian's wife, and Ashland Stables. And I know Sian really thinks highly of this horse, so he's going to go for a good check tonight. It's like he's trying to think and turn really neat and efficient. But this horse isn't necessarily as quick across the ground as some of the others, and he's choosing to go around the alley skinny, which is going to cost him a second or two.
He's a big model of a horse.
Yeah, much bigger canter, bigger stride. I think he's putting in a nice, efficient, clear round. I think he's going to come in a couple seconds slow. Takes a chance at the last.
57.98. That's going to be good enough for third place at this very early stage of the competition. Sian Wardley in third, behind Richard Maloney in second, and Connor Swale leading. Ireland, New Zealand are top three here at the CP National.
Yeah, so you see there's only a few places here that they can really make up the difference. And in my opinion, the beginning and the end are those places. I mean, it's a really long run from the Longines World Cup Oxer to start to the Taylor Harris vertical. They could leave out a stride there, certainly turn tighter to the Sleepy P, as well as the inside turn to the Longines Oxer makes all the difference.
Well, I was just about to say that Connor's probably showed us all the opportunities where you could take out a stride, but has he? Because here's the world number 2, Beezie Madden. She's won a huge number of big classes over the years in jump-offs. She knows what it takes. Here riding Abigail Wexner's Breitling LS.
Yeah, but it's not going to be in this class today, John. She looks like she's going for a nice, smooth, confident, clear round. Again, this is a young stallion. He's 9 years old, so again, if she's choosing to do some of the bigger classes later in the week, like the World Cup class on Sunday afternoon, she really wants to prepare this horse properly and give him the best confidence to succeed.
Beezie is, in her own right, a former FEI World Cup Finals winner. Took the title in 2013.
And this just shows you the planning that goes into those kind of consistent results. I mean, she knows coming into this competition exactly which round she needs to compete in and how she needs to compete in those rounds, whether it be go fast or go smooth and slow, to prepare her horse for the end goal. And that's really true horsemanship.
So remember, there won't be time faults here. We've got a time limit of 120 seconds, which is, of course, nowhere near. So Beezie Madden and Breitling LS turn in a very nice, very smooth, clear round in that steady time of 81.26. You know, any class that Beezie takes this horse in after that now, if you were another competitor, you'd go, well, I'm jumping off against that one, aren't I?
Yep.
Olivier Philippart's H&M Legend of Love for Belgium. Olivier ranked just outside the world's top 50 at the moment. Former European junior gold medalist. Part of Belgium's team that won the Furaccia FEI Nations Cup finals in Barcelona just a few weeks ago. And Olivier and his twin brother Nicola over here jumping for the fall tour. They've been over the last couple of years, jumped together at Washington last week.
Yeah, the Philipparts brothers have had a lot of success coming over here in the fall tour over the past several seasons. Olivier won the $1 Million Grand Prix at Spruce Meadows Masters a couple years ago, the biggest Grand Prix in the world. And again, it just looks like he's coming into this round just to school and build confidence for later in the week.
This is the horse that Olivier was third last night in our Welcome Stakes class.
And I know everybody listening at home thinks that these riders should all be going for a fast round and competing to win. But you got to remember these riders have to do what's best for the horse and the welfare of the horse. And the horses are just like riders. They build on that consistency and confidence.
Yeah, I think there's going to be enough of these big names that are going to come in here in Turn and Burn to give us a good class, whilst those who need it can just get a little bit of mileage onto their horses' belts. Olivier Philippart and H&M Legend of Love add nothing to a time of 69.45.
Yeah, and Aaron Vale just entered the ring on his horse, Kidam's Good Luck, and I think he just showed him that inside turn, so I think we're going to see a quick round coming.
Aaron Vale, as Derek says, with Troy Claus's Kidam's Good Luck, up from their base in Florida. Ranked inside the world's top 500 at the moment, which is a good place to be considering he didn't jump internationally, concentrating on national jumping for all of 2014, and helped into that ranking by a Grand Prix win here in Lexington, Kentucky in April of this year.
Yeah, I think this is Aaron's top horse, and again, I know he's probably shooting for a Sunday's Grand Prix with this horse, but he's such a competitive guy and a real winner, so I know he's going to go for it.
9-year-old by Kidam's Ruben.
Excellent from 1 to 2, really slick back to the Sleepy P. Keep it slightly slower there to jump number 4. Could have left one more stride out. But again, if he has a future aspirations for later on in this week, he doesn't want to necessarily overdo it right now. I think he's going for a really good check and hopefully a top prize, but it doesn't seem like he's really going for the win. He still needs to have some horse left for what's to come this week.
Yeah, that World Cup qualifier here on Sunday is going to be big, and it's going to be tough. He's riding so well for a show and a place there. 56.10 on the clock. It'll be 4 to add 60.1 for Aaron Vale and Kidam's Good Luck. That'll go into 5th at the moment behind our 4 straight clears with nothing to add. 54.92 the fastest. Then that's for Connor Swale, then Richie Maloney, then Sean Wardley. Shane Sweetnam's in the ring for Ireland. Shane with the Easy Contact Humelin. 12-year-old by Quite Easy, owned by Sweet Oak Farm.
I'm anticipating Shane really going for this win tonight on Easy Contact because he is competing his other number 1 horse, Chalky Z, in the Grand Prix later tonight at 7 p.m. And I know how competitive Shane is, and I think he's gonna really go for the win. This should be fun.
He's had some good results this year at the Hampton Classic and in the World Cup at the American Gold Cup Show in September. 11th in the World Cup qualifier at Washington.
And Shane is a really great rider in the regard that he can really make a big mover, a horse with a really big stride, really fast. He uses that long, lopey stride to his advantage. So he's really taking chances. He's going for it. Caught that perfect.
So 54.92.
Really tight. Back to the verticals. Did the 8 to the skinny. It's going to be close. Really close.
Oh, the last time as well. 55.45. would have just gone into second place, giving us an Irish 1-2-3. But as it is 59.45, Sean Wardley holds on to third place and Shane slots into fourth.
Just goes to show you how fast Connor Swell was. I mean, Shane didn't let off the pedal at all, and he was still about a half a second slow.
And do you think just getting caught up in the wings there of the Sleepy P might have just affected his final line and cost him the pole?
A little bit. He swung a little bit wide. And, you know, he's on a bigger horse with a bigger stride. It's a little bit harder to turn.
Leslie Howard from Darien, Connecticut with Moondoggie. They're in the ring now for the United States of America. Already ridden at 2 World Cups this year. Leslie was part of the US team that won silver at the Centennial Olympic Games in Atlanta in 1996. And she was the 1986 winner of the World Cup finals, one of 19 appearances at those prestigious finals.
Right now, Leslie's on it. I think she rode 1, 2, 3 extremely fast, and she's the ultimate competitor. She's coming off of a great win at the Pennsylvania National Horse Show in the Grand Prix there. And there she did the inside turn, but I think she did add one more stride and it cost her. She landed on the back of that oxer. It's interesting, some of these top riders, people in the lower levels don't necessarily think to count the number of strides from, say, that combination to the Longines vertical. But I think you'd be surprised that some of these riders are actually counting the number of strides from that point to the Longines oxer, because it does matter. If even if it's 10 or 11 strides, that one stride does equal more time.
63.49 on the clock with 8 to add. So 71.49 for Leslie Howard. And Moondoggie goes into 8th at the moment. So Connor Swale still leads on 54.92. A valiant effort there, though, by Leslie. You know, her horse is being a little bit fussy as well, giving a few bucks and kicks around the course. So she did well just getting it there and keeping it up against the clock. So disappointed by 2 down, but plenty to look forward to. Kyle Timms in the ring for Canada with Platinum, number 291. Kyle is based in Apex, North Carolina, jumped here last year and has had a good meter 50 win at Tryon in North Carolina.
Yeah, this has been a competitive, consistent horse for him over the past couple seasons. It'll be interesting to see if he can go fast enough to catch Connor. I think he's already about a second behind the pace. And really good back to the Longines oxer. Does the right number of strides to this brown oxer at the end. He added 2 more strides there back to the verticals than Connor did. Really good there to the skinny.
Nothing to add. 55.81 goes into 3rd for Kyle Tim and Platinum for Canada.
Yeah, honestly, Kyle rode that second half of that course excellent, and I think he really picked up time from the Ali vertical at the end to the last jump. I think he just lost his time at the very beginning.
Well, if he spent that little bit of time at the start finding his groove, he's very much found it. Makes himself a real threat for the rest of the week. And just coming up on halfway through the class as well, inside the top 3. US Olympian Laura Kraut, part of the Team Gold performance from the US at the Olympics. Laura rides Cherry Knoll Farms Constable.
Looks like Laura's going for a fast, efficient, clear round. She was really slick to number 4 vertical. Her horse really backed off and studied that and helped her out because she was coming at it a bit fast. She's going just around the Ollie skinny, which is going to cost her a second or two. But she's keeping her rhythm and her momentum. She's not letting that prevent her from still taking a chance.
Yeah, it's that middle ground of wanting to test the horse's scope, add a little bit of pace without necessarily using up some gas on all those tight turns.
And you can see how careful this horse is into those double verticals. Really fought for it there.
57.55 goes into 4th at the moment for Laura Kreit. It's that real balancing act. I think Laura knew that if she wanted this class this weekend, she could have maybe come in and taken it, but actually riding her own plan here tonight, she's slotted into 4th at the moment, just a few seconds off the pace, but has just set herself up for a really nice feeling going into any jump off.
Yeah, I think she executed exactly what she wanted to do there. She looks really happy with her horse, giving him lots of praise, and there's nothing to be disappointed about that. And I think she's going to walk away with a nice prize today.
For the Netherlands, Harry Smolders rides Carmina Z. He was the winner at Washington last week and has also been a top 10 finisher at Oslo in Scandinavia. So he's the current leader of the Longines FEI World Cup Jumping Western European League. So we've got 2 league leaders jumping here at the National in Kentucky.
And Harry is really used to competing indoors, having his home base be in Europe. And he is the ultimate competitor. He's one of the best riders in the world, so I wouldn't count him out here.
Ranked inside the top 20 in the world at the moment on the Longines rankings.
He's really going for a top ribbon. I think it's going to be close. Almost took too much of a chance there to the Longines Oxer. That's one of those places where he knows that that's the place to really make up the time, and he really took a big risk there, and it unfortunately didn't pay off. And now he's just slowing down and trying to end on some confident jumps.
What's interesting in our leaderboard at the moment is if somebody had exactly the same time as Connor Swell but a pole down, it would cost them 5 places.
But I think Connor went fast enough that even if somebody didn't care about leaving all the jumps up, they wouldn't be able to catch him.
67.11 on the clock, and with the pole down, it's 71.11 for Harry Smolders and Carmina Z for the Netherlands.
Well, Daniel Blumen is on excellent success for him in recent weeks, supporting the Atlantis on a number of occasions, but Grand Prix win is...
So in the ring, Daniel Blumen for Colombia. Daniel, who owns and rides Con Concreto Sancha LS. 12-year-old mare by Chin Chin. Owned by Daniel together with Ilan and Stephen Blumen. Daniel was the winner a couple of years ago. A very popular winner. He really worked the crowd of the Puissance at Dublin. He's ridden at 2 World Games and at the London Olympics for Colombia. There's 25 points on the East Coast League at the moment, having a 7th place at Bromont and a 3rd place at the American Gold Cup in World Cup qualifiers.
Yeah, and Daniel's always been a really enthusiastic rider. Whenever he has a great result, he really focuses on the crowd and giving them a really good show. This has been his long-time best horse. I know he competed at the 2012 London Olympics with this horse and finished in the top 10. He also won the $500,000 Rolex Finale Grand Prix at Palm Beach a couple of years ago with this mare also. So it looks like he's just going for a nice, schooling, confident round, just like Hardin Towell did earlier in the class. Just preparing for the World Cup qualifier later this week.
So we've had the Colombian anthem once here at the National Horse Show for Roberto Terran last night. And Roberto, of course, still to come.
But again, you know, what's interesting is you know, Daniel can't pull up halfway through the course and just school a few jumps. He does have to complete this class in order to qualify for the Sunday World Cup qualifier.
They do, and I think also we've more than 40 riders here, so it's about quality of qualification as well, because we are limited to 40 on Sunday. So Daniel Blumen, Con Concreto Sancha LS, of the La Silla breeding program. 87.01 the time.
And I think he accomplished exactly what he came in there to do, and gave that mare a lot of confidence. She looked great and ready to go for Sunday.
I think it's quite easy as well, like when your mind's set up for a speed class and you have somebody in just taking their time and stuff, to look away and not concentrate. But actually, you know, when you look at Beezy, you look at Daniel, who came in, did those really nice rounds, there's a lot to pick up and just, you know, say, yeah, I can see exactly what they're doing there. You know, we have really top riders here, and anything they do is worth watching. On course, Charlie Jane. Charlie with Playboy.
This is, I think, Megan Noose.
Moved on again. Megan Noose. We're just having a couple who've come off the start list. Megan Noose with Amalia Investments. Learville 2.
Megan is an extremely competitive rider. This is a little bit of an older horse, but she's come on really strong this season with some fantastic results with him. Excellent there on the rollback to the Longines Oxer. I think she's close. But again, this is a different type than Martha Louise, that Connor's horse. You know, this horse doesn't exactly move across the ground as fast as Martha Louise does. So she's doing about as good a job as she possibly can.
First to have that in the class, just rolls the top off the Ali fence. And the last as well, so it's 8 seconds to add for Megan Noose and Learville. Megan was third in the Grand Prix at the Hampton Classic, goes into 10th at the moment on an adjusted time of 64.37.
Yeah, and that was a shame. I mean, she really rode that track perfectly all the way into the end, and it just looked like her horse got a little bit tired at the end.
Roberto Terran with Brilliant Derouet. Above Koshatova's horse. Roberto was our winner last night of the opening class. This horse, Brilliant Derouet, by Balu Derouet.
Yeah, Roberto's no stranger to speed, so I think we're going to see something fast here tonight from Roberto. As you said, he won the class last night in a blisteringly fast time. So I think he's going to go for 2 wins in a row here. But this horse does have a tendency to jump extra high over the jumps, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but can play against him in these false converted speed formats.
Yeah, it was his other horse, Woklahoma, that won last night, and it was exactly for the reason that Derek just said, that this horse was a little bit down the order. I think it was still top 10.
He's going to really have to leg. Yeah, he just didn't catch that Longines Oxer as he would have liked. I think he added one too many strides there. But it was still important for him to try that inside turn here to the last, because it is false converted.
So the last down as well means it's 8 seconds to add, putting him on 68.73.
Yeah, and had he not had that last jump down, he still would have been in the top 10.
Caddis King and Kismet with us in the ring. Candice riding Bellissimo's Kismet.
Yeah, this is Candace's top horse, Kismet, owned by the Bellissimos, and she's had some fantastic results over the past few seasons with this mare. And I don't think she's going to be too concerned with that pole down. It looks like she's just going for a nice school, trying to build confidence. And sometimes when you're schooling the horses, having one or two rails down in a schooling scenario, it's not the end of the world. And I think she's going to be fine with that, and she's going to come in ready for Sunday, hoping to jump a clear round then.
Three-time World Cup finalist. Was top 5 finisher in the Central Park Grand Prix this year. And part of the US Nations Cup team at Chalpa in Mexico.
Now it looks like Kismet is just settling nicely into the course and finishing on a really strong note.
67.81 with 4 seconds to add. 71.81 is the total for Candace King and the Bellissimos Kismet. Yeah, not the hardest rub of a pole that's fallen here tonight, but fall it did for 4 seconds.
Again, we've seen Guilherme do a fantastic job with this course. Although it's not as big and as square and as technical as the other rounds, he's still getting the perfect amount of clear rounds out of it. As you can see, we've only seen 6 clear rounds so far at the top of this leaderboard out of about 20, which is about 20%, which is what you always like to see.
Ranked just outside the world's top 100, Lyubov Koshetova. Lyubov with Urus. Currently 3rd on the East Coast League because Lyubov has been 3rd at Bromont in Canada and 7th at the American Gold Cup show in upstate New York. Lyubov, a Russian Olympian in 2008.
Unfortunately, her horse drifted way left, out almost near to the exit, and slightly brushed the standard and forced the back pole to fall. And I think that was smart of her to go around the alley vertical to give herself a little bit more room and time to the Longines Oxer. And again has the Ollie skinny down, heading towards the in-gate. And I think this is going to put her outside the ribbons today.
Yeah, 71.8 on the clock is well done anyway, but it's 17th at the moment for Lyubov Koshetova. Yeah, drift over the Sleepy P as well, ended up with a being pushed right into the corner against the advertising boards. For Belgium, Jos Valois. Jos with Caddy R. Jos, who's ranked 75th in the world, picked up points on the Western European League from his performance last week at the Washington International Horse Show in DC. As well as being 4th in the World Cup qualifier. He was never out of the top 5 in any class and was the winner of the Puissance. He was the winner of the Longines Los Angeles Masters Grand Prix last year, 2014.
Yeah, Jos has really taken the show jumping world by storm the past couple of seasons. He's a really looks like he's going for a really nice, neat, efficient round. Not necessarily the fastest round we've seen tonight, but I think he's shooting for a high placing. think he's going to come in just a few seconds shy of Connor's fast 54-second time.
Yes, that time to beat set earlier on in the class by Connor Swale for Ireland, riding Martha Louise. 57.25. So that's going to go into fourth place for Jos Verlooy for Belgium. Carrier Jos Verlooy into fourth with 57.25 seconds in this Dobbs Family International Open Jumper Speeds competition. $35,000 the prize money here this evening at the CP National Horse Show. Caitlin Campbell and Rocky W with us in the ring now for the United States of America. Caitlin from right here in Lexington, Kentucky. Jumped under 25 classes at New York this year. She was part of the US Nations Cup team at Bratislava last year.
Yeah, I'm thinking that Caitlin tonight, this afternoon, is just going to try to give Rocky a nice, confident, smooth round, not try to go too fast or turn too tight. Past couple of rounds, I think, have been a little bit big and difficult, and she's had a little bit of trouble with them, so I think she's just trying to build confidence here tonight.
As tight as she could go around that Ali jump. So she's not taking the tightest lines, but certainly not driving around with the parking brake on either.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, that spoils any opportunity of a top placing. That second pole down means it's 8 seconds to out, putting them on 68.45, Caitlin Campbell and Rocky W.
Yeah, and there you see Caitlin giving Rocky a nice pat coming out of the ring. I think even though she had a couple down there, she's happy with that result, that he's leaving the arena with a little bit more confidence.
McLean Ward. McLean with Double H Farms, Double H Carlos Z. McLean, the world number 5, has won just about everything there is to win. Individual gold medalist this year at the Pan American Games. He's a 3-time Olympian, 3 World Games, and a 16-time World Cup finalist.
Yeah, this is going to be close. If McLean can leave all the jumps up, this is going to be really fast. He's already started off definitely on a blistering pace. But as he's going as fast as he's going and turning as tight as he is doing, look how controlled his upper body is and how strong his lower leg is, and his upper body never moves. And that allows his horse to keep that consistent canter and balance throughout the entire track. And in turn, results are always faster because of that, because you're not dealing with any missed strides or missed cues to the horse. It's going to be really close here.
What a smooth turn inside the Sleepy P fence coming off the alley. 54.92 was the time beat. He does 54.68 and takes over the lead by 1/3 of a second. McLean Ward and Double H Carlos Z leading the way for the United States of America.
Yeah, so he did the exact same options that Connor chose to do, the exact same number of strides between each jump, but he was just that much faster across the ground to catch him.
Well, 3 years ago, she was the World Cup winner here, as well as at Washington, London Olympian, and 2013 World Cup finalist Reed Kessler. Reed rides Kessler Show Stables Charity 3-3. Reed was part of the US squad at the Furaccia FEI Nations Cup finals in September.
And this is Reed's second horse that she brought here to Solana, who will probably will be jumping the World Cup qualifier on Sunday afternoon. And she looks like she's trying to be fast and efficient here on Charity. I think she's a fraction off the pace, though. She's trying the inside turn to the Longines Oxer. She caught it really good, and her horse looked left in the air, which was great anticipation for the next jump. But then she just ran at the brown Oxer at the end with no balance, and the mare couldn't get out of the way. And you see Reed there after the Ali vertical, set her horse up a little bit and regroup for the last.
So 61.42 on the clock. It's going to be 8 seconds to add to that. So 69.42 at the end of the day for Reed Kessler and Charity 3-3. McLean Ward leads on 54.68. Connor Swell in second. Richie Maloney in third.
This is Orlando Group's 15-year-old Neil Orlando.
Callan Solem. Callan with Torlando Group's VDL Torlando. Second place at Washington International last week in the World Cup qualifier for Callan. 10th in the Grand Prix at the Hampton Classic. And another member of that Nations Cup team in Mexico earlier on this year where the US took the win.
Oh, and you saw Callan just, it looked like Torlando just slipped around that turn around the Ali vertical, and it messed up her stride to the Sleepy V, but she still gave it a try. And Torlando has a lot of experience in these bigger competitions, so I think now she's just going to try to finish on a nice, smooth, confident note and make sure he leaves the ring with all the confidence.
Remember, as a Table C competition, there's just that time limit of 120 seconds, so the only penalties that will come in are for poles down. Also, you see just the 4 seconds at the moment that are not 4 penalty seconds for her turning the circle. It's just the clock keeps ticking, and the hand goes up now anyway, electing to retire. Callan Solem and VDL Torlando.
Well, on to a very fast combination yesterday, finishing second. Lisa Goldman returning.
At most 5 more to go. Lisa Goldman, the first of those 5. Lisa with Morocco.
I think this is going to be really interesting. I think she really has a chance to catch McLean on this horse. This is her fastest horse in her stable, and at this level, meter 45 level, she can be really competitive. So this is going to be fun to watch.
Lisa was second in our Welcome Stakes with her other horse, Centurion B, last night.
And you can see right off the bat she's going for it. This horse spends no time in the air. That was a little wide, though. She's going to have to pick up the pace. You can see this horse is a little bit of a different type than some of the other horses, like the last one we just saw in VDL Torlando. It's a much bigger horse with a much bigger stride. This one is a little bit faster and quicker across the ground, which helps her out in these speed competitions. It's a really slick turn to the verticals. She's running to the Ali vertical. If she can make a really tight turn after this, she has a chance.
It has the look of something with a little bit of pony in it, which is no bad thing when you're against the clock. Lisa Goldman leaves them all standing. 54.37. She's done it another third of a second off our leading time. Lisa Goldman, second last night with her other horse, goes into the lead now in this Table C Dobbs Family International Open Jumper Speed class. 54.37.
Yeah, as I expected, John, I knew she was going to be fast and give it a shot.
USA's David Weissel next to chase that. It is the Harlow Investment Enterprises 9-year-olds, Tommy Hannes.
David Weissel from Goshen, Ohio, rides Harlow Investments. Call Me Hannes. Fifth in a Grand Prix at Saugerties, as well as a meter 50 winner at Tryon this summer. Starting in a very determined fashion over the first two.
Yeah, David's always a competitive rider. And it looks like he's trying to go fast to get a good prize here tonight. I don't know that he's going to be able to go fast enough to catch Lisa and McLean and Connor, because this again is a little bit of a bigger moving horse, but he's doing the best he can. You know, that's where these professionals are so good at knowing their horses and knowing where they can make up the time depending on the type of horse that they're on. Oh, and the alley vertical comes down. That might cost David a good placing tonight.
Well, that definitely will. 8 penalty seconds is too much for anyone to hope to finish inside the top 10. 12th at the moment on 63.32. So David Weissel and Call Me Hannes on a total time of 63.32 here in the Dobbs Family International Open Jumper Speed class. Our second 4-star international competition here at the 132nd CP National Horse Show. Nicola Philipparts. Nicola with H&M Harley van den Bishop. Nicola is ranked 80th in the world. Had a third place finish in the World Cup qualifier at Washington last week, and he also won the Table C class at Washington. Can he make it back-to-back Table C wins?
Again, Nicola's definitely accustomed to riding in a small indoor arena, even though this is a very large indoor arena. These horses are going to be looking for the next jumps and prepared to go fast and turn tight. Already you can see he's going for it. I just don't think that this horse moves quick enough across the ground to catch a horse like Lisa Goldman's. But he's definitely being extremely fast and efficient, and leaving out and doing the right number of strides.
It just looked like McLean was maybe 20-30 centimeters closer into that Longines clock on his turn.
And if he can leave this last jump up, he's going to get a nice placing today.
56.20 for Nicola Philipparts and H&M Harley van den Bishop. So that's going to put him into 6th position at the moment. You just see the quality of this class as well. We've got our top 10 all filled by competitors with no penalty seconds out of it. They all jump clear, they all jump fast clears to hold our top 10 spots at the moment. Margie Engel, 59.34, holding 10th. Sian Wardley, Laura Cricht, Jos Verlooy, Nicola Philipparts there in 6th, then Kyle Tim, Richie Maloney, Connor Swell, McLean Ward and Lisa Goldman, our leader on 54.37 seconds. Staying with our European visitors, in fact all the way to the end. This for Switzerland is Bert Mandley, with Grant Road partners Selina. Two-time Olympian, including a silver medal with the Swiss team at Sydney. He's a World Cup Finals winner, taking the title in 2007.
Yeah, Beat, an extremely accomplished rider. And it looks like he's just going for a nice, smooth, clear round to prepare for something later in the week. Again, he rubbed that Sleepy P Oxer quite hard and it didn't come down, but I don't think he's going to be disappointed with that. I think that actually will help his horse later on in the course and later on in the week. a lot of these top horses are really sensitive. So touching one of those jumps in that manner will actually help them later in the week because they're not going to want to touch it again.
Yeah. And this track, you know, Guilherme, he's left the door open for them to really go for it because, you know, the specification is meter 45. And for these horses, they'll find that really easy. So that is just asking for the speed demons to come in and give us those turn and burn rounds. And, you know, what an exciting competition we've had with those three competitors taking a third of a second each off the leading time.
Yeah, and with the fences being a little bit lower than the other competitions, also the risk is a little bit lower. They can take that chance with the fences being a little bit smaller. If the fence was 4 holes bigger, they wouldn't be able to take that risk.
So Payet Manley and Selena, 76-34, nothing to add. Steady round for him. Goes just outside the top 20 at the moment in this Dobbs family International Open Jumper Speed. And finally, it's the turn of Francois Maty Jr. with SEA Élevage de Voix, Talisman de Mazieux.
Francois is here all the way from Belgium and is no stranger to speed, so it'll be interesting to see what he chooses to do here.
No stranger to the national either. He's won classes here at the Kentucky Horse Park the last 2 years out, and he's had great finishes in World Cup qualifiers in Europe, including at the London International Horse Show at Olympia in Great Britain and at his home show in the Neckar Hull in Belgium at Mechelen.
So this horse doesn't seem like he's actually built for this type of class. He's a bit of a bigger horse with a bigger stride and a little bit slower moving across the ground. So it looks like Francois is trying to maximize what he can get out of the horse tonight and hopefully end up with a good prize. But as you can see there, he added one too many to the Longines Oxer and just got too close to the front rail and ended up having it down. I don't think there's anything he can do now to be in the top 12 placings.
No, already 59.34 is the 10th place clear for Margie Engel. He's home on 61.4 with 4 to add. 65.4 is the confirmed time for Francois Maty Jr., Talisman de Mazieux, and that goes into 16th spot. So Francois Maty rounds up competition here in the Dobbs Family International Open Jumper Speed. Let's have a look at that result. Lisa Goldman of Morocco, second last night for Lisa with her other horse. Morocco takes the top spot tonight. McLean Ward, the world number 5 in second place. Connor Swale, who's been such a demon against the clock, particularly with Simba de la Rock here in North America this fall, is in third place. Richie Maloney fourth. Kyle Tim fifth. Then it's Nicola Philipparts, winner of the Table C last week at Washington. Jos Valoy for Belgium, and Laura Kright right up there. Sean Wardley, Sean in 9th position, and Margie Engel there in 10th. Looking on down the order, we had those variety of rides. I mean, Hardenthal had a fair crack at it. Our current leader, Harry Smulders, there, 22nd position. Leslie Howard, Candice King. And we saw plenty come in and just get a little bit of mileage on the horse. And Callan Solom just having that problem. Horse slipping on the way into an early fence on course and jumped a few more and elected to retire. It's a nice little bit of equitation from them, but they do just need to come back and complete one of the other classes to ensure that they've got their qualification ticket for Sunday for the Longines FEI World Cup qualifier. So, as you said at the opening, Derek, a little bit of a class of two halves. We've got those who have horses in it for two different reasons, but boy, the ones who were here to turn and burn, they showed us.
Yeah, and Lisa came away with a fantastic win over some of the best riders in the world in Connor Swale and McLean Ward. I think she's going to be ecstatic with that win. And, although Lisa doesn't necessarily have a lot of international competition experience, she proved today that she can compete with the best.
So coming in for the presentation, Lisa Goldman and Morocco are winners. McLean Ward and Double H Carlos Z for the United States of America taking the top 2 spots, and then Connor Swale and Martha Louise in third for Ireland. So the ringmaster affixing the blue ribbon for Lisa. And also just early days, only 2 classes in, but Lisa will be propelled to the top of the leading rider award as well, with a second place finish last night, a win tonight. There's McLean, the world number 5 US Olympian, with Double H Carlos Z taking second place tonight. And Connor Swale steps forward as well. No stranger to a speed podium, as we've been saying throughout the class here with Martha Louise. He set a super standard earlier on, and it's that luck of the draw. I think if Connor had come in late in the draw, we might be looking at this same podium, but just another way around.
Yeah, I agree, and I think this result from McLean and Connor being second and third, I think they're both so competitive, and I think they're going to come back even more eager later and be shooting for the win in the Welcome Grand Prix tonight at 7 p.m. in the $130,000 Open Jumper Grand Prix.
So congratulations to tonight's first international winner, Lisa Goldman, with her own Morocco setting off on the lap of honour. We're going to take a short break from competition here at the 132nd CP National, and we'll be back on air at 7 o'clock for the build-up to the $130,000 CP Grand Prix, the meter 55 Table A class that is the feature today of this second day of jumping at the CP National. But for the moment, from us here at the Kentucky Horse Park, it's goodbye for now.
Okay, set to get underway just after 7 o'clock with our evening performance. We'll be taking you to everything that is the CP National Horse Show here. And tonight it features that $130,000 CP Grand Prix presented by